Hello, beautiful, and welcome to the Finding Fertility podcast. I'm Monica, your mentor in uncovering the hidden layers of your fertility journey. Together, we'll discover the right path for you within the 6 essential steps to creating the family of your dreams. We'll ditch the overwhelm, tune into your intuition, and build a vibrant foundation for your fertility. Whether it's through gut health, subconscious healing, or energetic alignment, you can unlock your body's natural power to get and stay pregnant. Your fertility journey is all about radical responsibility and deeply believing that your body is on your side. It's time to stay consistent, embrace trust, surrender, and create the transformation you deserve. Finding Fertility does not diagnose, prescribe, or treat any fertility issues. What we do is empower you to take control of your health by uncovering the root causes holding you back. Let's do this together. Happy Friday. Welcome back to another episode of Finding Fertility. I'm your host, Monica Cox, and I am completely honored you are here with me, becoming the conscious mama you were born to be. Today, we have the second half with Diane. This is such a fun conversation. I just love her energy, and I know she doesn't necessarily have the same journey as we have all had with fertility issues, but I think she is such a wealth of knowledge, and it just it doesn't make me laugh, but it inspires me. I don't know what it does. What word am I looking for? It seems that most women eventually come to the same conclusion from like whatever journey that they are having, that getting into your empowerment, understanding your intuition and your discernment, understanding that we don't want to do it like men, that we were built differently and better in some ways, honoring that rhythm, putting up our boundaries is, the ultimate goal. And I really live by this motto. You always have heard women in their like 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s saying like, "Oh, I just don't give two Fs anymore. Like I'm so liberated. I'm just so grounded." And I'm just like, I'm bringing that energy now in my 40s. I'll be 44 this year. I am bringing that energy now. And the more I can inspire you to do that in this journey towards motherhood, I just think the better off this whole planet is going to be, because we are just going to have confident, joyful, conscious mamas. So without further ado, I'll shut my mouth. Let's get to today's episode. Yeah, I mean, like even getting down to a cellular level, right? Your cells listen and they react to the emotions. And
Yeah.
and I'm not saying that you can't have a bad thought or like a negative emotion. Yeah, when you get your period and you really were hoping it was, going to be a positive this time, feel anger, feel that sadness, let that shit out. But when you're ready, get the fuck out of there and be like,
Yeah.
okay, this is what the next month is going to entail. I'm gonna start roller skating because that
Yeah.
brought me joy when I was a little girl. And you don't have to hyper focus on the things that you think are gonna get you what you want. Yes, you still have to show up, do the work, but bringing in that joy and constantly, this is what I say to people. When you're in that loop, right? You have a looping system and you have those ruminating thoughts, and you always take yourself back to a story, right? Oh, she did this, or I'm going to argue with this person, or oh, I fucked up here. And you're just loop. I still do. I did it this morning at 5 a.m. And I was like, and I say, find something that resonates with you. But this is what I say to myself. I'm like, bitch, we don't live here anymore. This
I
is
love
not
that.
who we are. And the more you continue to tell yourself that in the mundaneness, every time you catch yourself again and again, when you first start, you're going to do it 100 times a day.
Yes.
But that is where the magic lies. And what I noticed in my own journey and for everyone else is that we were back to social media and the gurus and the influencers, right? Oh, I got to do this yoga meditation. Oh, I've got to do this breathwork session. All valid, all important. But how are you acting when you come back home? What's your energy? What's your vibe?
Yeah.
What's your frequency? What's your thoughts like? Because
Yes.
that's dictating your reality, not just the week you got to spend not getting triggered by work or your kids or whatever it is. It's living in that mundaneness. And I mean, my eldest is so switched on and emotionally, right? And he went to go brush his teeth and he came back down and he looked at me and he went, "Why are you in a bad mood? What happened?" And I was like, what the fuck? Like he can kind of see auras and colors too. And I was like, how did what? I didn't even think I was in a bad mood, but his younger brother did something shitty in the car and I like yell. I didn't really think I overreacted, but I mean I was like, well, yeah, I was upset because your brother almost like lost his arm in the car door, you know? It's just
It's
like
they're there to remind us of that. I
yeah.
firmly believe that. My
Yeah,
two youngest are the
absolutely.
same.
All
Yeah.
right. And
Yeah.
so just noticing that like, okay, yeah, you're right, but I'm going to switch that.
Yeah.
I was correct for talking to my youngest, right, about almost losing an arm in the car door, but at the same time, it's just interesting how he either felt, saw, whatever his abilities are, that I had this like energy around me that I was a little bit upset. So it's a real thing. And once
Oh,
you
for
get
sure.
more in tune with your body and show up this way and do it with grace. I mean, how
Mhm.
have you been moving through these new things that you've been seeing in your life? Because sometimes we can like beat ourselves up over it and we
Mhm.
can start that negative self-talk. Well, you should have been better. Oh, you shouldn't have done
Yeah.
that.
Well, it's been a huge process of unlearning, I feel like, and unwinding some old things that have just, they don't serve me anymore. Right. And it's I kind of had to tell myself it's very similar to the client that comes to me and there's like, well, I used to weigh this in college or I used to weigh this when I got married. And I'm just like, but that's not who you are anymore, right? Like you've had kids, like you're a CEO or you're whatever. And for me, it was incredibly difficult because I had this story running that was if I'm not training 6 days a week, if I'm not looking as lean as I do when I'm about to hit a show, like I have no value, right? Like no one's
Hmm.
going to want to listen to me.
Yeah.
No one's going to want to coach with me. And this was just like this fear in this story. And I think it really actually was the reason why I did 16 shows. Honestly, I mean, I really wanted to get my pro card, but I think a lot of that was like, I got to do it for my business. And I decided about 3 years ago, 4 years ago, that I was just, that's not me anymore, right?
Hmm.
It's fun, it's great. I'll help coach people to do it the right way in an ethical way. And that's how I'll stand on all 10, as the cool kids say. Like I will say it with my chest that I'll take you through it the healthiest way and make sure that your mind stays healthy because post show is very, very difficult for people and they binge and it's just messy. But for me, I started to really cherish things that basically that would improve my life. So what is my kind of baseline of importance when it comes to my movement as it's relative to my life? So I had to say, like, what's important for me? Well, what am I not doing? Well, I'm not hiking. I'm not doing a lot of these active things that I love because I'm so consumed with the fact that it has to burn a certain amount of calories or it doesn't count. Right.
Hmm.
And
Hmm.
so I had to slowly strip myself from that. And it has added so much joy, so much pleasure. Now, when I look at fitness for myself and for my clients, I look at it more holistically and we have a conversation in sort of our clarity call, which is what's important for you to do in your life. For me, I have granddaughters. I want to be able to run on the playground with them because they think it's a hoot. I love to get up and down off the floor and I don't want to be like the
Hmm.
grandmas that you see trying to get out of the chair that have no leg strength. I want to step onto the counter and be able to feed my plants on the very top ledge. So these are like random things that do really require you to be strong, right?
Hmm.
Travel and put the suitcase overhead in a travel compartment because I value travel. And so I design my own life and my program and my energy management around those things because I was sucked into toxic productivity. And along with that came the thought that I had to be operating at this crazy high level to be a quote unquote like fitness coach.
Yeah.
So it's just the baby steps. It's adding in things that I know my body needs, right? Like, can you touch your toes? Can you tie your shoes? Can you climb a set of stairs without getting winded?
Hmm.
These are things that you probably want to take a look at. And like, yeah, we all want the abs. We all want to fit in the jeans. We all want to do that. but that's not going to get you up at 5:30 in the morning to go hit a run or, go after work when you're dead ass tired to go meet your trainer for a training session, right? You got to be committed to this is helping me in life.
Yeah.
And so that mindset shift was so huge for me, even though I knew it, but I wasn't wholeheartedly embodying it because I felt like I had to be here in order for people to like believe me. Right. So yeah, but it's a night and day difference. And I feel so much better for it, honestly.
Yeah. And was there something that you did that was like the magic switch for you, or do you feel it was just the consistency?
Meditation.
Yeah.
Meditation, getting present. I had to get real with myself. I've worked with a couple different kind of mentors and coaches that helped me sort of tease out things that weren't true. I learned new things like human design. I learned about my Enneagram and just kind of got to know myself a little bit better to understand my unique energy, my unique kind of way that I move through the world and what I'm forcing versus what is really natural for who I am. So that was super important. I know that's kind of like a little ethereal and woo-woo for some people, but it really comes down to if what you're doing isn't working, what is your body maybe saying that you're not paying attention to?
Yeah, absolutely. Like,
right. We all have those check engine lights that come on.
Yeah. Like we're a real woo here, right? Like I help people transmute energy in a snap, right? Like
Amazing.
and change frequency. So
yeah.
The key is the willingness to get curious and look somewhere else, right? I was thinking about it this morning actually in my meditation. I don't really call it meditation anymore. It's just my silent time, right? You just get silent, get present. You don't like have to put that pressure on yourself. At one point of your life, you did not believe diet was a thing. At one point of your life, you did not think movement was a thing. At one point of life, you thought very differently about your life. So if you can look back and see, okay, I have changed my belief system around these really important things. Can I now get curious on some of these emotional, energetic shifts that are possible to really get into coherence of everything that I learned? Because I think the spiritual space has been hijacked by consumerism and productivity and rituals, and like you have to do these things on the full moon or you're not going to be able to do it. And look, hands up, I fucking got sucked into it too, right? Like we're just all humans. That's like what we do.
Yeah.
But when I'm like, I'm on my 100th moon ritual, it's not working. It's that radical honesty of like, okay, maybe that was cool. It was fun at times, but maybe this isn't where it's at. And being able to shift and take that radical honesty for yourself and get curious about these new things and consistently show up for yourself and prove yourself right or wrong. Right? I'm always saying to women, they're like, oh, but this and this and that. I'm like, well, just take 6 months and do it anyways. And tell me at the end of it, when you truly put in the work, whether or not it was worth it.
Yeah, I present my clients with all kinds of, I call them growth opportunities, where I say, here's what I want you to try on. Okay. It's just like you go into a dressing room, you're going to try this on. You're like, I don't like it, but like you say it looks cute, so I'm going to wear it. Right. Like you all have that friend that just gives you the moral support. And so for me, that really is my work, where it's presenting clients with things because I see what's happening usually, because I get a lot of the details. I mean, I'm life coaching in a sense too at some point. And so when they present that all to me, I have a lot of tools just from learning over the years of modalities that I have worked for myself. And so I don't have just one person. I have a lot of different people that I draw resources from. And so for one, I'm working with a therapist right now, and I introduced her to the work of, I don't know if you're familiar with Byron Katie.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Just your neighbor.
Yep. Yes. Mm-hmm. So she was going through some things, and I said, I'm sure you've heard of this because you're a therapist and you guys hear all the things. And she had never heard of her before. And she's like, this is amazing.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. And she's been in practice, I don't know, 20, maybe
Yeah.
20 plus years. So it really is of just bringing in awareness. And sometimes you have to hear it from a different person. It's just like with your kids, you can tell them something and they're going to listen to somebody else and they're going to say it the same thing, but in a different way. Right.
Yeah. Yeah.
And for me, it was really the meditation and getting still with myself first thing in the morning before the world started kind of drawing from me.
Mm-hmm.
And it's different. I don't know if you really preach that, but for me, I have like a 1.0 version of like my morning routine that kind of gets me in that sort of frequency recalibrated. And then like a 3.0 version, if I have a little bit more time and it'll be drawn out and luxurious, but it just kind of depends on what's happening for the day, but it helps anchor me into like where I'm at in my head. And I have intentional check-ins throughout the day with myself. Where am I at right now? Where's my head?
Exactly.
Where are we at? You know, and it really is that awareness has been so helpful in untangling all that.
Yeah, I have a meditation called Run Your Energy. And so you get grounded into the earth, you bring in the light from the universe, and you run your energy. You really practice like just clearing the unseen, the unknown. And the more you do it, the better you can be like, oh, I'm a little stuck there. Yeah, like shine some more light there, like let it go. But yeah, it's that daily practice. You have to think of these things as brushing your teeth, as eating meals. We have just been, just not taught at all how to properly take care of our mental, emotional, energetic self, which I think all of us women who are like, I'm doing everything right. The diet, the exercise, you got your business like, and I don't feel good. I don't have joy in my life. And so a lot of us are waking up to being like, there's more to this story than what even functional medicine has taught us. It's been great to get out of that, out of the normal, Western medicine into that. We got more health, we got more vitality. But yeah, it's a daily thing. And I say is that you have to be graceful for yourself because you are running decades of patterning and looping and doing the same stories over and over again. To think that you can just show up one day is not like a diet. It's not tangible. And anyone who's done a major diet change knows it's not even easy as well. Like you can do it, but it's still pretty like difficult to change those things. So when you're getting into the mindset, the meditation, the frequency, it is that constant like, all right, that wasn't cool. What am I going to do about it? And it can be as easy as I just need to hug a tree. Or this one's a little bit bigger, I need a breath work session. And so being graceful of like where can you? And the more you practice it now, I mean, just like my son, like a little shit, right? Like, Mom, you're in a bad mood. Okay, okay, I'll clear my energy before I move on today, right? So it's really important that when you notice those control patterns, those type A patterns, you're looping and you're patterning in certain ways that aren't getting your results that you want. To take that radical responsibility, get curious, change gears.
Yes. And it can be really scary for a lot of women at first. I know my demographic tends to be 40 plus. And so with bringing in therapists on coaching calls and things like that, and we're having conversations and things around communication and again, setting boundaries and asking for help and all these things. And a lot of these women are like, wait, what? Like I take care of everything, like my husband's laundry, the kids' laundry. I do all the grocery, like they do everything. And for them, they're like, this feels so overwhelming. I don't even know where to start. Like I've been doing this for 30 years and you want me to just now tell my husband he's got to wash his own clothes. And so, I mean, we don't do that, but just as an example of the resistance that is going to show up, it's normal, right? It's totally normal, but it's really just, for us, it's really just an art of asking people to just take like a baby toe of a step, like 1% in this direction. Like, what does the 1.0 version look like? Because a lot of times we get into our heads and we're just taking it way too far down the line and we're not even there yet. Like, let's just get here because we think worst case scenario. So I do think that it's an unlearning of sorts for some
Yeah.
people.
Yeah. And remembering going back into your empowerment, you know, I always say I do feel very grateful for my fertility journey. Did it need to be as long? Like maybe not, but I can look back now and it's not about judgment because I get a lot of women who, and I felt this way too, of like, and maybe you have women, oh, but they have this, and oh, I didn't get this, and they have that. And I'm like, look, everyone comes to their rock wall at some point of their life. Maybe your fertility journey is setting you up for harder things. Like, right, for surrender, for me, I had to take care of my dying father. He was only 68 years old. I had to stop my business. You know, like I had to go into pure surrender of not controlling his journey. I could have, he could be alive right now. Like I could have saved him. And to have to just go, nope, this is his journey. I will be here if he asks, and I'll tell him little bits. And he got it at the end when he came to live with us. You know, the first 2 months, he's like, I get it. I get it now. But it was way too late. There was, you know, there was no going back from there. And so
Unfortunate.
when
Yeah.
you take these times and you just stop comparing yourself and try your hardest to get rid of the expectations you put on yourself, it's all like this. The reality is it's all made up. It's all made up, and
It really is.
you really made it up.
Mm.
Maybe it got implanted from other people, parents, society, church, you know, all those things. But now it's your responsibility to wake up and go, okay, I am the creator of my reality. I can only control inside of me. And what people don't realize, and maybe you've seen this in your life, the more you shift your inner, you know, frequency or emotions, whatever it is, whatever you want to call it, the people around you start to act differently too. You know,
Oh,
all
God.
the things that you were trying to control, you're suddenly like, "Oh, my husband's a little bit more romantic. Oh,
Yeah.
my kids listen a little bit more. Oh, you know, like my clients are coming in and obviously with fertility, they're like, "Oh, wow, here comes the baby."
Mm. It all makes perfect sense, quite frankly. And I've noticed it time and time again, not only with myself, but my clients. And it's, I think when we can just release again, like relinquish that control and not white knuckle things, you can lean into it and you'd be so surprised at how much that really truly does make a huge difference with how your body responds and reacts to everything, including conception, right? I mean,
Mm.
it's just a fact.
Yeah.
So it's the mindset piece of things is huge. I mean, think about any time you wake up in a bad mood. And, one of the things that I'm talking about a lot lately is really being so aware of your thoughts because we tend to wake up having the same thoughts we did the day before and they just kind
Hmm.
of regurgitate. And
Hmm.
so it really has to become an act of awareness that that's happening and going like, okay, this is not, I hate living in this. This is not really getting
Hmm.
me anywhere.
Exactly.
But for me, I had to get sick of my own shit, quite
Yeah,
frankly.
yeah,
So
yeah. I
yeah.
mean, unfortunately, I was just saying this to my kids the other day. I said most people have to, you know, learn through their own mistakes, even though hundreds, if not thousands of women have done it before, maybe have, you know, like us, it's sharing our knowledge
Mm,
that sometimes you just have to hit your own rock wall. You have to be done with your bullshit. And then you're ready to make that radical change because it will seem radical to everyone else around you. They will think you went absolutely loony. You're not part of the system anymore. And that's a hard thing to be outside of, you know, your safety zone, because that's really what it is. It doesn't matter if it's like a craziness around you, it feels safe. That's normal. Your nervous system is used to it. So stepping away from that just feels unsafe, even though you can consciously be like, that is the best thing for me. Your whole body is like, no, 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 safe. So you
that's
have
definitely
to really comfort yourself and be graceful and just take those baby steps back, being okay that you're going to get sucked back into it at some point. There is always this kind of like give and take, and just know that that's part of the journey. And just like you said, continue to show up as that person you want to be. It's not fake it before you make it, right? You can't fake anything, but you have to live in two realities. One,
yes.
the situation you're in now, it's real, it's valid. We're going to have to deal with it. but two, you can live in that version of who you want to be. And you can remother yourself, you can love yourself, you can gain that self-worth through that version that is just a little bit, I don't ever say there's layers. I envision everything on this spiral going just like through the universe. So you're moving forward. You're not going above anyone. You're not like, hierarchy. You're just moving forward on that spiral. And the only comparison is who you were maybe yesterday, maybe 6 months ago, maybe 2 years ago. And if you can be proud of that version, then you're winning.
Yes, and it's so important that you highlight that because there's I just use myself as an example because I have the experience of that personally, really, and it was a matter of just I couldn't become who I am now in the mindset of the 16-year-old pregnant mom who was on welfare and food stamps and housing projects and state government assistance, like all the things, everything possible. I could not have become who I am now, running to business, like doing all the things and impacting people with just my mission. If I was operating in that frame of mind, there was no way. And so it was really an act of constantly, first of all, it was an awareness that I knew the people that I was spending my time with were not going to help the cause in me really just getting my own self-development sort of foundation, honestly, and just figuring out who I was. So it was a lot of reading and just seeing who I resonated with and doing that work. And it felt lonely a lot of the time because no one in my friend circle, no one in my family, like no one went to college, nobody ran a business, like none of that. And so it brings me to the conversation that I had probably a couple of months back on my podcast was as moms and working with moms and being a mom myself, seeing how difficult it was for me to invest in myself financially. But I had zero problem like slamming down $2,000 for my son to have like the best football coach, like all the things, my daughter to be in tumbling until she was 19, right? All these things. But when it was like, I want to hire a coach because I'm feeling lost or I need somebody to like hold me accountable. And then I'd have the conversation with myself of, well, I should be able to do that. Right. Like shooting myself to death. So it just comes full circle to just knowing that it's hard to do alone. It's really hard to do alone. And so it's helpful to have resources like yourself and myself, even our free communities. I have one that they can at least feel like they have a part of something, but having somebody who has been there and done that can say like, here's what I'm seeing is priceless. It really is priceless.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And you just come to that stage when you're ready for it.
Right.
But yeah, I mean, because even if you jump in and you say, oh, I'm going to work with this coach, and if you're not ready for their like radical honesty, then it is going to be wasted time and money on, both ends. But we all get there when we can. And yeah, I do wonder, the universe, like, why did I have to read 100 self-help books and take 5 years to get where I am now, after an 8-year fertility journey, when, there was probably coaches I could have paid 10 grand and done the work, but that's just the life path.
But I think I'm in the same boat, but I honestly feel like it gives my coaching so much more texture. It has so much more relatability and passion behind it and sincerity for like really wanting to see my clients succeed because I have like done all the same, right? Patchwork stuff together as well as resources.
What are your lines in human design then?
I'm not entirely sure of my, I think it's a 5-2. It's like
5-2. Okay.
It's a hermit and a hero or something.
Yeah.
I want to say.
I'm just wondering, I'm a 1-3, so just the researcher. And like I have to live through the event to be able, and like when I love human design, you can get caught up in it. I think it's a really good modality to kind of learn who you are, right? But it did explain a lot. And then I said, I'm going to choose, even though this is like this is who you are. I said to myself, I'm choosing not to be this in depth of learning anymore. I
Yeah.
do not need all the knowledge and I do not need to go through the whole experience. I'm just going to one
Bite
book
size.
in
Yeah.
6 months,
My
not a
my best
100.
friend, she's here now. She's a therapist, and it's funny. She helps me out with a lot of our programs and things, but she's like, I'm gonna have to give you a limit of 30 minutes for your week, okay? Because you go a little too far. I'm like, I can't help it.
I know. Yeah. Yeah.
So I have a time limit now. I mean, do I abide by it? Absolutely not. But we're it's a work in
It's
progress for
conscious,
sure.
right? It's conscious.
Yes. Very
This has been so much fun. Thank you so much for coming on.
yeah, this was great.
Please let us, please let our listeners know where they can find you.
So I have a podcast, Boss Bitch Radio, and the website is bossbitchradio.com. I'm over on Instagram mainly as like my main social platform, and it's Diane Flores over there. Facebook as well. We have a free Facebook group. It's the Boss Bitch Besties over there, which is super fun. And we'll do like Tuesday cooking shows and Q&As and just holding people accountable there. And then we have a really fun challenge that's coming up for the fall, and it's just the Hot and Healthy challenge. So just to get women in sync with understanding that their plan doesn't need to look cookie cutter like everyone else's, and helping them really design something that works for their life instead of trying to fit this ideal into their life. So it's a lot more flexible, so that way you're consistent instead of being an A student for like 3 weeks and then an F student until January, right? So it's trying to figure out how to make it a lifestyle.
Yeah, that's so amazing. Well, that will all be down in the show notes. And thank you once again for coming up.
Yeah, thank you so much. It was so fun.
Thank you once again for tuning in and becoming the conscious mama you were born to be. Remember, I wasn't some magical unicorn who stumbled into fertility success. I stayed consistent, I put in the work, and I made it happen. And guess what? You can too. And I have something for my loyal podcast listeners, but here's the key. This is only for women who are feeling burnt out, frustrated, and stuck in the cycle of endless research. And you're at a point where you are screaming, I have tried everything. Why isn't this working? This only works for women who are ready to take a radical responsibility for their journey and start listening to their body's innate wisdom. Because deep down, you know you can heal and achieve your ultimate goal. If that's not you yet, that's okay. Not everyone is ready yet to show up with ease, deeply connect to their energy, unlock subconscious patterns, and listen to their body's ability to come into full coherence. But for those who are ready, I'm offering something I only do with my paying clients, and this is a fertility breakthrough session. This is the first thing I do, even before I start really deeply working with someone in a coaching package. It's a deep dive session where we look at exactly where you are right now, what's keeping you stuck, and the easy shifts that can change everything. But fair warning, these sessions are very limited and go fast. So if you're interested in checking out my superpower for uncovering exactly what's been overlooked, jump into one of these free calls. They're deep, they're intuitive, and they're game-changing. The only way you can access this is if you actually personally message me. You can do it on your favorite platform, IG, TikTok, or at my personal email, monica@findingfertility.co. Not .com, because they wanted $3,000 for the M, with just one word. And that word is dreams. Obviously, DREAMS. And I'll make sure you get that link right away. Remember, this transformation happens when you stay committed to yourself. Trust your body, follow your intuition, make it possible. The links that you need are down below. And if you are still here and you absolutely love this podcast, please take some time and leave me a review and help other women like you find this podcast to get the support they need. Help a sister out. Leave a review today.